Some of the moments that shaped our nation didn't look like history at the time. They looked like risky, uncertain decisions that changed everything.
In Asheville, one of those moments came during the Great Depression when city leaders faced a choice nearly every American city was wrestling with. News 13's Patrick Hushin has the Amazing America 250 story of the decision that nearly broke Asheville and ended up defining it.
Amazing America 250 is sponsored by Ingles Markets.
They were really determined to save what remained of this historic infrastructure.
Asheville's downtown feels intentionally historic today, a legacy of architectural design.
After South Beach and Miami, we have, I think, the second highest number of preserved Art Deco and 1920s style architecture.
But that identity wasn't planned. It was the result of a decision made during one of the hardest times in the city's history. And to understand that decision, you have to go back to a very different Asheville.
Volume 65.
Back through the archives, to the moment the city changed course, and to the paper trail that was left behind. In the 1920s, Asheville was booming. New buildings were rising, and tourists began to pour into the mountains.
And they're coming for 2, 4, 6, 8 week stays, which tells us something important. These were folks of means, folks like George Vanderbilt. Folks were feeling this emerging eternal optimism coming on.
Leaders believed Asheville was becoming a major American city.
So in 1920, the population's about 26,000. And in the only 10 years of the Roaring 20s, it nearly doubles to well over 50,000.
And much of what you see today was built during that boom.
The Grove Arcade, the county courthouse, the city hall, the S&W cafeteria building, and the list goes on.
Then that boom collapsed. October 1929, Black Tuesday. Within a year, the crisis hit Asheville, banks failed, city deposits vanished.
Folks didn't have access to the money, they didn't have any money.
So the city's mayor, Gallatin Roberts, tried to protect the city's finances, but when the banks collapsed, so did everything else. Roberts resigned. Not long after, he took his own life. By the mid-1930s, Asheville faced a choice: declare bankruptcy or default on its bonds.
It makes the decision that other cities were not making, and that was to actually pay its debts off.
Not some of it, all of it. For decades, the cost was real. Budgets were cut, jobs were lost, growth stalled, Asheville fell behind. But
the silver lining to this is we were so broke for so long, we didn't tear much down.
While other cities demolished their downtowns, Asheville couldn't afford to, so the building stayed.
There wasn't the money to do the kinds of infrastructure projects that they would have wanted to do.
The Great Depression hung over Asheville like a fog, until gradually it began to lift. By the 1960s, color was coming back to downtown, and a new generation started to see what had been saved. 40 years after the crisis, 1976.
$56 million debt is officially paid.
And it's believed to be the only city in American history that repaid all of its Depression-era debt.
But for city leaders, walking away may have never been an option.
Yeah, like the land of the sky, nothing's ever wrong here. Like, you know, we're managing our affairs, everything's cool. So I think like defaulting on a loan would somehow be seen as like a failure of some kind.
The decision that held Asheville back for decades created something else. An identity, one that continues to draw people in to walk the streets that were never erased.
There is something that feels really unique about this community's sense of identity and sense of resonance with their history. It feels old, it feels deep, and it feels really particular.
And you can feel it in downtown Asheville. That feels different than other American cities that you're in. What they're standing in is the physical example of resilience. And we've used that term a lot in the past year and a half in Asheville as we've recovered from Hurricane Helene. But it's really true that not only just the hurricane, COVID, but also all the way back to the Great Depression.
In Asheville, Patrick Hushin, News 13.
Well, the same year the debt was paid off, 1976, also saw the creation of Asheville's Preservation Society, which would go on to protect many of the buildings still standing today.